if you are a person that's looking for a job, I hope that you find it, because I know how it's like not to have a job. And if you're a person that is in a contract, I hope that you finally get that permanent position, because I also know how it's like not to have something that's certain. And if you are a person who's got a permanent job, may you show up with confidence. Emsebenzini. Give it your all, because there are people out there who are going through things that are beyond, they are looking for the job that you actually have. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time joining me, then welcome to my channel. I am Yolanda Kumalo, also known as Tishy, on Twitter, Instagram, and on the streets. Guys, I'm struggling to get through the intro of this video, and I don't know why. And usually when I struggle to put out a video or like even get past by the intro, I usually take it as a sign that maybe I'm not ready to have this conversation. But this is probably my 50th time trying, and I'm going to try for the last time now. And if I don't get it through now, then I'm just going to stop altogether. I don't know why, because I thought I was really ready to share this, testimony with you guys. So yeah, this is very confusing for me, but I'm going to try my best to articulate myself well and also unpack this story well, so that you also understand what played out. This is a highly requested video, obviously highly requested by people that watch my videos, because in one of my vlogs I did promise to tell you guys how I got my dream job. Some people did come to my DMs and they were putting pressure on me, asking me when am I actually going to drop this story. Some were reminding me that, hey Yolanda, esa story was promised to Sona, and I think right now the time is right and I'm finally ready to share the story with you guys. So this is basically a testimony rather than a story. It is how I, first of all, nobody knows that I was actually unemployed for 5 days before I got the job, and I'm going to go give you guys a little bit of a brief background so that you guys can understand what played out. So I started working in March 2020, and I was working for the public sector. The public sector had sponsored me for my university career, and the contract was basically, we pay for your university. After you're done studying, you come and work back the periods that we have paid for your university. At that time, when I was in grade 11, when I got this opportunity to get the scholarship, it sounded like a good deal, because I was like, oh wow, I'm actually going to study and get my fees paid for, and I'm also going to have a job after I finish studying. This is a good deal. And I think at that time what I failed to look at was that the public sector was not going to give me the necessary experience that I needed in order to support the qualifications that I did. For those who don't know, if maybe you're wondering, I studied accounting, undergrad and honors. So it would have been more beneficial for me to go to a accounting firm in order for me to further my studies or to complete my articles properly and be able to qualify. But nonetheless, at that time I was young, I had no knowledge, and I think I was thinking about it from a point of not even having the money actually to cover my fees. It was like, oh my god, that I am getting a bursary in grade 11 that's going to cover my fees for me in university. Really, things went smooth. I finished my qualification in 2020 March. I then signed a contractual agreement with the public sector, which was I'm going to work from March 2020 till February 2024, and that would be the 4 years that they've actually covered my fees for. This was great. When I worked for the public sector, I'm not going to lie, in terms of salary, I was very happy because they were paying well. I was able to afford the life that I shared with you guys. I was able to move out of home and get my own apartment. So in terms of Imali, I was really happy. But in terms of the work I was doing there every day, I was very unhappy because I was not doing what I studied. I knew at that moment when I started working there that it will be very difficult for me to move from the public sector to get into the private sector. And I think that's also one thing I want to highlight for anybody who's at university and is looking into finding a job. It's very important that you look at the experience you're going to get at the job, especially when you're fresh from university. You look at the experience that this job is going to offer you, and not necessarily the money. Look at the experience and look at whether is it going to support the qualifications that you are acquiring, and is it going to help you or assist you in getting a better position or better company, or getting into that dream company that you actually want to work for. I didn't have that knowledge, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Anyways, I worked for this company, and in January 2023, I was now left with 1 year with them, and I was starting to look for a job. I got into the job market, searching left, right, and center, applying, and I was not getting anything. And people around me did tell me that, hey, it's because of the experience that you have. Most companies, especially private sector companies, they are not prone to apply to employ someone who's coming from the public sector. But even though I was still told that, I was still trying, applying, and not getting any calls, not getting any interview, I would still continue. Looking for a job, guys, is very stressful, it's very draining, it's very depressing. And if you are in the job market, oh God, I'm honestly keeping you in my prayers. It's so draining that I would have months where I would just be nonchalant about it and be like, actually, I'm just going to choose to do content creation full time, and maybe that's how I'm going to make my money. I'm not going to lie, content creation does, you could live off it, so it didn't sound like a bad idea. But I love what I studied, I would have loved to actually do it. So I still had that thing, Yoguti. I still do want to get into the private sector and actually work for a company and further my studies or further my career and complete what I started. I continued applying. Fast forward January 2024. I'm now left with 1 month with this company, and I am jobless, basically. People around me are panicking. They're asking me, Uzotini, what are you going to do? Uzotini, what's the way forward here? Even I myself did not know at this point, and that was something that I had no control over, because I absolutely had no control over the fact that I need to get a job, especially when I wasn't even getting an interview. At this point, I start to restructure my mind. I say to myself, you know what? If all else fails, I'm going to take my content creation career and I'm going to swing with it. In any case, it is already doing well, so maybe it's not a bad idea. But I do know that it was not doing great enough for me to say it's my main source of income. Even now, it's not doing great enough for me to say I'm quitting my 9 to 5. It is going to be my main source of income. I don't know whether it wants me to first quit in order for it to prove itself that, hey, I can actually be your main source of income or what. But at that time, I was just trying to restructure my mind, and I was like, you know what? If all else fails, I'm just going to focus on content creation and do it. Now I'm left with 1 month of working. I'm still looking for jobs, obviously. But if there's anything I can highlight for you guys, is that in that period when I did not have a job, not even getting an interview, I was at peace. I had this peace. I think it's the peace they speak of in the Bible, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Guys, maybe you might have read about that peace and you understand it even better than me in terms of like reading that scripture. I have lived it, where things are falling apart in your life and you are just standing. I was able to wake up. I was able to live my life. I was literally just fine. I was absolutely okay and I was fine. I was not stressing about the situation, even though sometimes at awkward moments or unexpected moments, reality would hit me that, hey, actually you only have just a month with having a job and a 9 to 5. Uzotini. I think maybe another thing also I should highlight is that I had savings in place so much that I knew that even if I were to lose my job, I will be okay for the next 2 to 3 months while living off my savings. So I think that's another thing maybe that added to the peace that I had. I had an understanding, Yoguti, even if I lose my job, I'm not going to be unemployed, and then it wouldn't mean that, I will be unemployed, yes, but it wouldn't mean that I would have to pack my stuff and go home immediately. I would have at least 3 months spare, which I would just be focusing on looking for a job. So another point to highlight is that savings are very important, guys, especially if you are a person who's working on contract. You are not certain. Saving is just very important. It bails you out in a lot of things, and I think this is the second time I'm touching on savings on this channel. Anyways, going back to the story, now we are in February, which is the last month where I'm working for this company, and the second last day of the month they do a farewell party for me and they wish me well. It was beautiful. They sent me gifts, they gave me a card, they bought me a gift, and they were basically saying bye-bye. They're saying bye-bye to someone who does not have a job. On that day, I remember it was a Monday. I was in office and I was just working, wrapping up, doing the last bit of things. I get an email from my personal account. It pops up on my phone. I read the email and it's from a recruiting company. They say to me, hey Yolanda, are you in the job market? Because we are looking for someone to fill in this position. I think it's okay for me to tell you my position because I've already shared it on Instagram. They say we are looking for a regional accountant for this particular company. Are you in the job market? I'm not gonna lie, when I opened that email, I saw the position and I was like, yo, this position is actually very big for me, one. And two, I don't have the experience for this position. I know that because of the rejection I've been getting for the past year when I was applying for jobs, and also just looking at what the job that I do here and the job that is required for me to do there. I was like, I'm not qualified for this job. But I said to her, yes, I'm actually in the job market. This is my second last day at my work. I am available. I'm looking for a job. She says to me, okay, can I please call you? I say yes. She calls me. She asked me, why are you leaving the current job you're working for? No, and then I tell her, no, it's because it's a contract and the contract was ending today. And then she requested I send her my CV, my transcript, my matric results, my ID, etc. I say, okay, no problem. I send it to her. She says, thank you. I will reply to you or I'll contact you again once I get feedback, whether we can move on to the interview stage. I say, okay. It was Monday. Tuesday, I get no communication from her. Even Nami Tuesday, I'm going to work. It was my last day at my work. I literally had a half day that day, packed all my stuff. I literally, guys, walked out of my office with a box, like how I used to see in movies. I was the one carrying the box with all my small little stuff, like the things that I would put on my desk in the office. I walk out, I say my last goodbyes to people, and that was it. I go home. Wednesday, when I wake up in the morning, I woke up and I had decided that I am going to be a full-time YouTuber. I'm going to be a vlogger and I'm going to vlog my life away. I remember I started a fresh vlog then, and I was just doing my admin stuff, things that I couldn't do while I was working, because now I've told myself that maybe this is what I'm supposed to actually do. Maybe this is what God has called me for, so let me give my 100% attention to it. Guys, on Wednesday around 3, I get a call from the recruiter. She says to me, hi Yolanda, would you be able to come in for an interview on Friday? I say to her, yes, sure, I'll be able to come. She says, okay, at 12 o'clock, please go there. She says that she'll send me more communication via email. She sends me the address. She sends me the description of the company. She says, please read on it and just prep yourself, familiarize yourself with the company. Your interview is at this time. And yeah, I'm like, okay. Friday, I wake up in the morning, I go for my interview, and the interview didn't really go well, I must say, because I was explicitly told by the person who I was to report to that in actual fact, in terms of qualifications, yes, you qualify for the job, you do have the knowledge, but it's just that we don't trust that you can do the job, because the experience that you are putting out in your CV, like you're saying you worked for public sector, it is you don't have enough experience in order to do the job. I've heard this thing before, guys. So when she said that, I was just like, yeah, but obviously not to her, but in my head I was just like, I knew it, She asked me one question before I left. She was like, can you work under pressure? I said to her, I would like to believe so. She asked me again, she was like, can you work under pressure? And then I obviously gave a much more confident answer that yes, I can work under pressure. And then she said, thank you, we will contact you. Guys, when I left that interview room, I'm not gonna lie, I was not confident that I got the job, because she straight up told me that you do not qualify for the jobs in terms of the experience. But in terms of your qualification, your matric results, you are brilliant. We can see that you're actually smart. And I must really say, guys, my transcript, my matric results, my undergrad transcript, hi, I have something to offer. You know when you say you have something to offer? I literally did. Those are I did my best. When it comes to academics, I really was that girl who just put in my A game, and I was doing really well at university and in high school. I left on Friday and I moved on with my life. I carried on. I got a call on Monday and I was asked that I should come in to see the exec. And I asked the recruiting lady that, what does this mean? She says to me, I don't know, but usually people who meet the exec, it's people that are successful. But nothing was communicated to her in direct. They just said that they want her to schedule a meeting with me so that I can meet the exec. She tells me that the exec is available at 1 o'clock. Does that best suit your availability? I tell her, yes, I'm fine. I'm available on Monday at 1 o'clock. She says, okay. Monday morning, I wake up, I drive, I go back to the place, and I actually go and meet the exec. The exec had a 30-minute interview with me and it was wrapped up. At the end, I think he made a mistake. He was like, when can you start? I remember my response to him was, oh no, it was actually not communicated to me that I got the job. But since you're asking, I can start on Tuesday, which was the 12th of March. I told her that I can't come on Monday because I had already scheduled an appointment for my car at the traffic department. At this point, guys, I am unemployed. So my schedule, I am planning it according to someone who is free. So I'm doing my things during the week. So when this interview comes, he's asking me, when can you start? I'm telling him that I've already scheduled an appointment on Monday, but I can start on the 12th of March. He says to me, oh, no, never mind. Sorry. We will call you and let you know whether you were successful or not. Even then, when he said that, I was like, okay, maybe he made a pure, clean mistake. Let me go home. I went home. I went home that day and I actually went to McDonald's because I was hungry, I remember. I got to McDonald's, I parked my car, I was vlogging and I was eating chips. If you remember this video, guys, you probably will recall there was a video where I was eating chips outside of McDonald's and I was just talking and I was wearing formal wear. I was coming from the interview at that time. When I finished eating at McDonald's parking lot, I then drove. I went back home. As I was parking my car, I get a call from the recruiter. She says to me, Yolanda, are you available to go for fingerprints today or Monday? I ask her, what time today? She says to me, the last appointment that we can get you is scheduled in for 4 o'clock, or you can go on Monday anytime between 8 and 4. I say to her, today is fine at 4 because I'm not doing anything. And this place is very close by. It's at Cannon Walk. I live very nearby. It's like 20 minutes away. As I had just parked my car, guys, I literally reversed back and I drove out and I went to do my fingerprints. Even then, when I get to the place of the fingerprints, I asked the ladies that work there, hey guys, people will come do fingerprints after interview processes. What does it mean? You know, because, and then I tell this lady that this is what happened, you know, and they're not communicating whether I got the job or not. And then this lady says to me, hey, I don't know. Some companies, they do send people to come and do their fingerprints just because they're checking their record. Maybe they are shortlisted as top 2 or top 3. Some companies, they do fingerprints because you actually are successful. You got the job. So she was like, there is no definite answer. At this point still, I'm just like, maybe I'm shortlisted top 2, top 3, as she says. Like, guys, my mind was further away from the fact that I got this job because I think I've heard the fact that it's very difficult to get into private sector from public sector so many times that I didn't see it for myself happening. And especially when the person who interviewed me, the first lady, she had told me straight up that you don't qualify for this job. You know, I just felt like, I didn't know what was happening at that time. Let me just put it that way. But I did have a little bit of faith that maybe I got the job, but I don't know. After I was done with my fingerprints, I went back home. I didn't get any communication for 2 days. And I think on the 3rd day of waiting, I got a call from the recruiter and I could hear her voice already was bubbly. And I think I knew at that moment that I got the job. When she says, congratulations, Yolanda, you got the job. I ask her how, and I didn't even qualify for the job. She says to me, I don't know what you did in there then, but you got the job. Are you still free and available to accept the job? Can I send you your contract from the company? And can you please sign and return it to me by COB today? Guys, I was so shocked. I was like, what are you doing, God? You are qualifying the unqualified. You are calling me for a position I am not qualified for, and you are saying, here it is yours. Oh, guys, I had goosebumps. I was so happy. That was the happiest day of my life. And it was not only the happiest day of my life because I got my dream job as a regional accountant. I'm finally going to do what I actually studied. I was just happy that I got a job, you know. I was unemployed, and it was obviously something that was stressing me that what am I going to do? And even though I had the faith that God is definitely going to come through for me, He's not going to just let me pack my stuff and go home because I cannot no longer afford where I live. But I was just happy with the fact that, you know, when you really see that God is always like, you know, when that moment in your life, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, a moment in your life where you realize that God is always there and He's always making sure that you don't fall short. I was so happy that day. I was in disbelief. I remember I called my mom and she also cried on the phone. And it was just how everything played out for me that it shocked me. I did not only get saved from a crisis of unemployment within 5 days, but I was also then repositioned into getting into the private sector, which I've always wanted. And not only that, I was then working as exactly what I studied. I literally felt goosebumps in my body, shiver. Until this day, whenever I tell this story, I just feel like crying and get emotional because I just cannot believe God's work. So I'm coming to share this story not to bluff. And a lot of you guys are probably going to ask yourself, why is she only sharing the story now? Why didn't you share at that time? I am unfortunately or fortunately a person that believes in not sharing things or situations while you're going through them. I can only talk about them after they're done. And I think it's because I'm trying to protect the energies that are around this thing while I'm praying on it. And now that it's done, that's why I'm ready and I'm comfortable to share it. If there's anything you must take from this story, is that you need to have faith. And you need to believe deep down in your heart that God will do it for you. Like, even if people can say, no, Smang has been unemployed for 5 years. Smang has been unemployed for 10 years. You must say to yourself that, not me. I will not go through that because God will pull through for me. Because unfortunately, God only works for those who actually believe and have faith in Him. He only shows up for those who believe and have faith in Him. I'm not trying to sound as a preacher, but in all honesty, that is what that experience taught me. Another thing I want you guys to take from this is that when you are at university, don't look at the money that you are going to make in the company by whether you want to decide on taking the job or not. Look at whether is the experience I'm going to get from this company going to, at a later stage, give me problems when it comes to getting another job. Or is this experience that I'm getting for this company going to support this qualification and actually make it more easier for me to get into the next company that I want to get into to further my career? Last thing I want you guys to take is that it is very, very, I cannot stress this enough, it is very important to have savings. You can save as little as 100 Rand, but it's very important to have savings. Because at that time, I knew that my life is falling apart, but I knew that for the next 3 months, I'll be good. And I had faith that within that 3 months where I'm just sustaining myself from my savings account, I would still be able to look for a job. And I still trusted that. I doubt that within 3 months, there's nothing, I'm not going to get anything. So maybe the peace was also something that I got from God. Maybe God, brought peace into my life. Or maybe it was the fact that I knew that actually I will be okay for the next I will be okay for the next 2 to 3 months. So savings it's not only good, it's savings really do help you with a lot of things that are unexpected and that you have no control over. Yeah, guys, that is my story of how I got my dream job. By dream job, I don't necessarily mean that specific company. I just mean that my dream job is I'm finally now working as an accountant, as what I studied as well. And that for me is a blessing because I never thought that was going to happen, based on the fact that the experience that I had from my previous job was not beneficial to me, and a lot of private sector had been already rejecting me. So this was a moment where God just repositioned my life, because obviously going forward now I can get into any company with the experience that I'm getting. And yeah, I think the one thing I can say is that there's exciting times ahead. Anyways, guys, that is it from me. Actually, that's the video that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope that you receive that and you don't see that as I am bluffing, but you actually look at this and get inspired for yourself and for your future, for your story as well. If you are a person that's looking for a job, I hope that you find it, because I know how it's like not to have a job. And if you're a person that is in a contract, I hope that you finally get that permanent position, because I also know how it's like to hop between contracts, or not to have something that's certain. And if you are a person who's got a permanent job, may you show up with confidence. Emsebenzini. Give it your all, because there are people out there who are going through things that are beyond, they are looking for the job that you actually have. So that's it that I have. That's the story that I have for you guys today, and I hope that it's going to inspire someone, motivate someone. If you are someone who's also in the job market, please do check the description box. I'm just going to put the apps that people use to find jobs, like Pnet, your LinkedIn. Familiarize yourself with that. It's very easy to apply from there, and I like the fact that you can also store it on your phone as well, so you can literally apply for a job. No, you can actually open your job. You can actually open your phone and go on that app and just apply for jobs. Anyways, that's it from me today, guys. If you are new on this channel and you haven't subscribed and you've watched this far, please do click that subscribe button so that we can grow our channel. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like. Drop in the comment section. You can drop anything. Actually, we can have the conversation about umsebenzi, where we can look for jobs. We can even assist one another on places on where people can look for jobs. Or if you know that your company is also hiring, you can drop it down in the comment section as well, and let us know that maybe you are looking for I don't know what position. You can put it down. Who knows, maybe someone who watches in our community can actually go down and scroll down in the comment section and actually see that and apply for the job and maybe even get it. I really do also want to convert the 5 a.m. club to be a place where we actually share job links or job positions. If your company is hiring, maybe you can DM me and tell me to share in the 5 a.m. club for people to see, because I respect ukangela umsebenzi. It's very draining, it's frustrating. So if there's any way I can be able to help someone, I am willing to do it. Otherwise, I am going to see you guys on my next video. God bless you all. Bye.